Hello, people of the internet. What do I have? What is this box? Well, if you can read, it says Rogue Audio Stealth Phono Preamplifier. You might be like, hey, what the heck is the Stealth Phono Preamplifier? I've heard of the Aries, I've heard of the Triton, both made by Rogue. I've never heard of a Stealth. Well, neither did I until I saw this for sale, and then I'm like, I'm gonna buy it because I'm stupid and I buy stuff without really thinking about it. And then I get it, and then I'm like, why did I buy that? Let's look at the features. No features on the front, not even an LED light to tell you that it's on. It's got a nice thick aluminum plate. On the back, we have grounding lugs for the cartridge. We have outputs, inputs, power switch, which may have been nice if they put it on the front, but they put it on the back. Why? I don't know. I guess they expect you just to turn it on and leave it on. That's a plausible reason, I guess. Let's see if we can take this cover off easily. Oh, not too bad. Put that cover to the side. And these, my friends, are the insides. Maybe we should zoom in a little bit. Is that still in focus? Ish. Alright, close enough. So what you can see is you have a toroidal transformer, a PCB for the power section, and then you have two identical circuits for your channels. You have two little switches up here. That's a toggle one way or the other. Right now it's in the off position. In the other position, it's 150 picofarads. That would be for capacitance for your moving magnet cartridges. These are your loading options, and it goes from, let me pull out the information since I can't remember because I have a limited memory. It has 100 ohm, 300 ohm, 1.1 k ohm, and those are all for your moving coils, and then 47 k ohm for your moving magnet. As you can see here too, maybe you can, you probably can't, but these are basically attached to your little dip switch there. And so if you said, hey, I don't want a 300, I want a 200 ohm, you can drop in a 200 ohm resistor and you'll be in business if you know how to solder. If you don't know how to solder, I don't recommend that because you'll melt the board, you'll lift the trace, you'll do something horrible, and you'll make yourself sad. You shouldn't try to do that. You shouldn't make yourself sad. You should be happy. Down here are your gain options. You have gain of 46 dB for moving magnet, and then for moving coil, or lower output, I guess, moving magnet, you have 50 dB, 60 dB, and 65 dB. So that's plenty of, that's a lot of gain. So how does it sound? Well, it sounds okay and then not okay. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's start with the good. So I was comparing this to the Sutherland 2020, which is probably an unfair comparison because this thing, when it was new, retailed for $899. The Sutherland is $2,200. So more than double. They've also since replaced this with the Triton, and then they replaced that with the Triton 2. So, you know, I got this way cheaper than what you can get a Triton for used, but that's beside the point. So what I like is I was listening to like acoustic guitar music that had some piano in it with it, and the weight of the strings had real weight to them. Like you could almost feel, if you've ever played, if you play guitar, you play acoustic guitar, there's like like a resonance sort of feeling that you get out of an acoustic guitar. You can kind of feel it with this guy, which is impressive. Also, during the piano parts, if the piano was played hard, if you've ever played a piano or heard a piano in real life, if you hit that key hard enough, there'll almost be like a metallic-y sound because, it's just a piece of wood covered with, I assume, felt hitting a large string, not unlike a guitar string, but it's really much bigger, that piano wire. And it has like a sort of a hefty metallic sort of sound to it. This reproduces that better even than the Sutherland. The Sutherland almost did it as well. And then I also compared it to the Mani 2, and this did that way better than the Mani 2. Like, you didn't get that feeling at all with the Mani 2. But the Mani 2 is $150. This was $899. Even if, on the used market now, this is potentially closer. It's not that close, but it's closer to the price of a new Mani 2. You expect it to be better, right? Where it kind of falls down for me is it has a sound that's really it's really like in the mid and highs. Like there's the lows aren't really quite as prominent as they should be, in my opinion. Comparing it to the 2020, which again is an unfair comparison, I understand. The 2020 has more of a rich sort of sound where the only thing I could think of is like with a speaker with a resonance frequency of where the frequency tends to lay, right? Like some of them, the resonance frequency is higher, so like anything you play through, it's going to sound higher. Like it's going to sound more mid-rangey, or if it's lower in the frequency, it's going to sound maybe lower. This is sort of in the higher section, whereas the Sutherland is in the lower quadrant of the mid-range. It just seems like it's skewed off a little bit compared to the Sutherland. But they made a Magnum version of this. And so I've seen some pictures online. There's not a whole lot of information on these guys online. But from what I can see is they replaced these two capacitors with higher grade capacitors, and then these blue guys. So these are 2.2 and these are 0.47. And then the other thing that I saw that they did in the Magnum version was on these outputs, they actually, instead of having a wire with whatever these are, magnets, whatever they are, I don't know, they added 2.2 UF capacitors to those as well. So I didn't know what else they had changed, and so I reached out to Rogue, and they're like, well, that's a long time ago. I don't remember what exactly we did. I think we upgraded some wire, some resistors, and those capacitors. What they said, though, was like, rather than replacing those, you could replace, because it's basically the same thing. Like if you look at a new Triton, it has the same toroidal transformer. It's the same box. It just has a different board in there. The board is a single board, and the circuit's obviously going to be different. He said they would sell me the board for $500, so that I could just drop it in and solder in the components, which would probably just be these 4 wires here. Well, 5, 6, and then 7. These ones wouldn't be necessary because they would be connected already through the board. And so while I think the Triton 2 is $12.99, I think new. After paying for this, then that, it would probably be more expensive than I wanted. So what I decided to do is I bought some replacement capacitors. I'm going to try that. So there's going to be a part 2. If you are watching this at all and you're interested in that, subscribe. I should have those parts probably mid next week, so maybe a week after. Look for part 2 of this video in about 2 weeks, and then we'll discuss what I actually hear, if anything. If I can make this thing sound more lush, because like I said, it has some really nice things going for it, But it does not sound as good as the Triton 1 that I used to have, and it does not sound as nice as the Sutherland. The Sutherland's more enjoyable to listen to. This might work for you if you have a darker system, if you have darker speakers. This will have more clarity for sure. So if you're really into clarity, this will be great for you. If you want more of a lush, robust sound, this is probably not the thing for you. But let me replace those and I'll get back to you. Does anyone has anyone done that? If you've comment down below, let me know. Like I said, subscribe. I'll have a new video on that soon-ish. Let me know any other mods that I might be able to do this and make it sound better. Like, I don't know, replacing these with higher value, I don't know, with that filtering out. Let me know, because I don't know. Flying blind here, people. All I know is I know how to solder, and I can solder in the replacements for these. All right.